Hello, everybody. I am super excited today for another Meet the Expert interview. And today I have Bianca. Welcome.
Thank you, Nick. So exciting to be here with you.
So, Bianca is a natural therapist, a fertility activator, a kinesiologist, and she supports women through that whole emotional awareness of fertility, IVF, pregnancy, beyond. I mean, it's just such a I would feel like it would be such an honouring position to be able to walk that journey with women. Um, so, how did you find yourself in this space, Bianca?
Okay, so it was really about my own journey through my own infertility journey and looking for emotional support and energetic support through IVF, which there was pretty much nothing. There was a few counseling sessions and that was it. There really wasn't the support that I felt I needed and the other women need as well through going through such a challenging roller coaster of a journey. It is really emotional. There's highs, there's lows, and everything in between. And often IVF clinics, they're just focused on the physical side of things. They're not interested so much in the how it feels to be in this position. So that's really how I came to this place. Through my
Mm.
own journey, I now have two children from egg donors. So I went through the IVF journey myself and have two beautiful children.
Oh, that is so good. So, how long were you on that journey for?
So because it took a while for my husband and I to wrap our heads mutually together around it. I had already spent time going through that myself, so I knew what was coming. He had to catch up, if you like. So that took him a few months to get on the same page as me. And then once we got down to it and started IVF, I think I was pregnant within 18, no, I had the baby within 18 months. It was pretty quick. So I think I went for my first appointment I think it was around December, January, and then I was pregnant by April and then had my baby in December. So it was
Oh,
a fairly quick journey. I was really blessed. And I feel I attribute a lot of the speed for me with how much work I did prior to coming to that.
well, I was going to say, I mean, there must have been a time frame, you know, prior to IVF. I mean, even getting to the point of one realizing you needed IVF and then wrapping your head around that decision, like you say, not only you, but then your partner as well.
Yeah. Well, I almost want to say in some ways I was blessed because I went into early menopause at 24. So I had a lot of time to catch up. Yeah, at age 24, my ovaries just stopped working, no known reason. And I spent a lot of years trying to find reasons and trying to bring back my period to no avail. But it also meant I had a lot of time to do personal development and to explore what was going on in my body and also emotionally catch myself up. And by the time I met my husband, I was in my late 30s. So kind of been going through the journey anyway for 10 years. So I was much further along than he was. Whereas he was
Mm.
just ready for children straight away, but didn't expect to have to suddenly deal with IVF in such and donor eggs, which is another layer on top.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so, why on earth do they? That's not a very common thing, is it? Going into having ovarian failure.
It's more common than you think. Like, I mean, about one in, not talking about ovarian failure specifically, but about one in six couples struggle to get pregnant. So they won't get pregnant within the first 12 months. And I can't tell you the specific numbers on premature ovarian failure, but I know at least two other people who had it. I know a girl who she was 18 when her ovaries stopped as well. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah, it's becoming more and more prevalent, which makes you wonder they didn't struggle like our parents didn't struggle in the same way. Our grandparents didn't struggle in the same way. There's something else going on at another level. And there is definitely a part of me that suspects our diets have changed massively. Our chemicals in our world have changed massively. There's so much going on that our generations above us didn't have to deal with. Our bodies are dealing with so much stuff that they've never dealt with before.
oh look, we could go down a lot of rabbit holes.
Yes, we could.
So, let's not. What does a fertility activator? So, what does that look like to activate your fertility?
Really, it's about me if someone's joining me as a client, me holding their hand through the fertility journey. So let's look at how you feel about your infertility, how the emotional journey has been for you so far, or if it's not you, your partner, and how that's impacting your relationship, the fact that one of you is struggling with your fertility, or even both of you. And then let's look at how you feel about now requiring IVF to get to the point of having a child or more children in your life. So it's very much about me walking them through the emotional journey in a way, as I said before, that clinics don't have someone stepping someone through that journey hand in hand. And I feel like it's a service that I wish I'd had when I went through that journey, to have someone saying, you know what, it's going to be okay. And if it's not, you're still going to be okay. Even if this doesn't work, you will still be okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so by the time someone gets to you, they know that they need IVF, or
Yes, usually, yes.
right,
Not
okay.
always, but usually, yes.
Yeah, okay. So what part does, diet and lifestyle play when you're, walking a client through that process?
Well, it's massive. A person's diet is massive in terms of it's going to impact your actual the eggs obviously inside your follicles massively. Like you've got 3 months leading up to your actual ovulation where you're going to, it can impact the health of the eggs in your body, or your partner's sperm in their body. It's obviously a lesser period of time for them. And your diet has a huge impact on that. There's so many studies and things out there about how you can change your diet and improve things. Then on top of that, you've got a lot of infertility conditions that are lifestyle based, and diet is a huge part of that, along with exercise and other things. So I think bringing in more and more plants and fruits and vegetables is ideal for any woman trying to get pregnant. It's critical. It's the building blocks of our diet. It certainly should be, because they're so critical, the nutrients and the vitamins. And you want to take that further to your baby. You want to give your baby the best chance possible. So do yourself a favor and actually start as soon as you can, is what I think about diet and improving it for fertility.
I wholeheartedly agree. Definitely preaching to the converted here. So we know that we need, more of those fruits and vegetables. Is there any foods that you would be encouraging your clients to move away from?
This is coming more from a personal perspective. My own experience with dairy, with eggs, and with gluten is they don't support well-being from my own perspective. And raising a family as well, I certainly feel personally that they're not helpful foods. And then we could go into lots of lifestyle factors, but maybe we should park that, because again, we could dive down that rabbit hole for ages. But yeah, absolutely, there's certain things that I would recommend removing. And for me, I'm at the point where I'm unlikely to put them back in my diet.
Mm.
I won't say never, never say never, but I'm very unlikely to, because I notice within myself energetically and physically what they do to me, those types of foods, and it's not good stuff.
No, that's right. So two things. One is alcohol.
Mm.
Where does that sit?
Well, from an energetic perspective, and I will often address things from an energetic perspective, if you have a glass of alcohol, it actually challenges you. If you are feeling like you're reaching for it, check in with yourself right before you take a sip, and then check in with yourself after you've taken a sip. Is your body happy with this thing in your body or not? Because when I go through that process myself, my body says no. And it's easy to override. It's really easy to override that and think, oh, I just want to have a drink, I want to relax, whatever it is. Alcohol is in no way helpful to trying to get pregnant, let alone just general lifestyle. Like a baby does not need any alcohol in its system. So okay, you may not be pregnant, but in the lead up to it, you want to give yourself the best possible chance to conceive and to get pregnant. So why add something in that is potentially going to stand in the way or block you? Take it out is what I'd recommend.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm always quite passionate about educating women on alcohol, because I think that it's so prevalent and so easy, like you say, to pick up that glass and have a drink. But I think, and you would know this, but I'm going to say it for anyone listening, is that the moment you drink alcohol, your liver actually stops processing any of the estrogen in your liver. So your estrogen levels begin to rise, and then it dumps any half-processed estrogen into the bloodstream and says, I'll deal with you later because I've got to deal with this alcohol because it's a priority one. And it's that half-processed estrogen that is related to our female cancers. Now, that might be a little bit of a rabbit hole, but I feel it's really important for all women to understand that the link between smoking, the link between alcohol and breast cancer is as strong as the link between smoking and lung cancer.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's kind of like, okay, no benefits, right?
Like that rabbit hole.
Close that door. But it is surprising how many women don't know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really important that women just be aware of that and,
make informed choices. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you. So really, it's your whole journey is about walking women through that, supporting them. I mean, I just feel so excited because it's just like it's that whole package of emotional support and diet and lifestyle choices. And what are some of the lifestyle choices that you would encourage women to go? I'm kind of like thinking like sleep and that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So sleep hygiene to start with, and then doing your best to get the right amount of sleep for yourself. I don't set or tell anyone this is how many hours of sleep you need, and it really is dependent on where you're at. So if you've been through, say, burnout, your sleep needs are going to be a lot higher than, say, if you're, in your 20s and you're full of energy. It's going to be completely different. But actually a couple of things. Going back to what I would recommend removing from your diet, for me, I've noticed dairy, eggs, and gluten would keep me awake. I had years of sleep issues when I ate those foods. And now that they're out of my system, I sleep really well. I don't wake in the middle of the night unless my children wake me, which means I wake up refreshed. So I know I'm sidetracking a little bit, but I feel like it's a really important awareness for other people to have that these foods can actually cause you to stay awake at night. And obviously,
I so appreciate you saying that. I really do, because I think that we immediately just think, oh, it's caffeine.
And it can be.
Oh, absolutely, it can be caffeine. And I always encourage my clients to do, the sleep. But I also find that my clients, when they remove the dairy and the gluten, that they sleep better. But I've never actually, I kind of like, because it's often hand in hand with the caffeine. So it would be really interesting to do. I'm going to, really look out for that now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it depends on your sensitivity as well. Caffeine will keep me awake. Even for me, a decaf coffee will keep me awake, which is insane. But that's how sensitive I am to caffeine now.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. Yeah. Now, I lost your original question in that little side note I went. Remind me what you were asking me, Nick.
Oh, sorry. Nick, you said that from a
lifestyle. That's right.
Yeah.
So sleep and sleep hygiene. So sleep hygiene, getting that hour or so before you go to sleep, just free of devices. Even like I'd say to anyone who's watching this, just trial it yourself. Anything that we've said today, just try it for yourself. Don't listen to what we say. Just experiment on yourself. Put down your device for the last hour before you go to sleep. You can be in bed between 10 and 11, ideally closer to 10. Great. So by 9 o'clock, if you can, be switching off your phone, switching off your iPad, whatever it is, even the TV. Just read a book, go meditate, whatever it is, go make love with your partner. Doesn't matter, just switch off devices. It will help you go to sleep. And then other lifestyle factors, meditation if you can, because you're calming your mind, so you bring your parasympathetic nervous system on board, which switches off that fight or flight mode, which is your sympathetic nervous system. Going for walks in nature or some sort of gentle exercise in nature is always going to improve your connection to nature. Is huge for fertility because we're part of nature and we've switched that part of ourselves off. I like to recommend grounding. Again, tap in and just try it and see how you feel when you put bare feet on the earth. It's a bit harder in winter. For those who are listening, if it's wintertime when you're listening, it's a little bit more challenging. But go for a walk on the beach, rug up and go for a walk on the beach and see how you feel. So many more, but they're the key lifestyle things. And sorry, one more thing, gentle exercise. Don't go and run a marathon and expect your fertility to be
Mm.
switched on, because it's going to do the opposite. If your body starts going into fight or flight or survival mode, it cuts off your fertility. Any stress is going to reduce your fertility by a long shot.
Yeah. I think that, the stress and the sleep are those two things that, with the clients that I work with, that, it's just, we don't realize the impact of those two things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I agree with you. I used to be, jump into bed and, that was my get on the phone and go through social media, and was working, had some sessions with a sleep expert. Not that I had any issues, but I was doing, following her and listening to her. And it was like, she said, because I said, I'm a good sleeper anyway. She said, yes, but it will affect the quality of your sleep.
Mm.
So now I'm very strict. I jump into bed with a book.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. Yeah. And I think, and stress too, even with my clients, it's like, stress will hold weight on. Stress is just so detrimental to us that you're right. Getting in nature, doing the grounding, doing the meditation, the breathing is so beneficial for, everyone. So there is just so many, juicy takeaways from our conversation today. And I just thank you so much, Bianca. Is there anything you'd like to sort of last comments?
Well, last comments. I didn't even get into talking more about your adrenals and stress and fertility, but it's just a really big topic for another time. The more stress you bring down, you bring your adrenals back online, your hormones are going to be much more balanced, which I'm sure you use in your work as well, Nick.
Yeah. Which really sort of brings it. And do you find that stress, the adrenal, and it's basically the stress that you work on?
Yeah, absolutely. So we look at ways to reduce stress from
Mhm.
both the physical, like how can we reduce general stress in your life, and then also energetically, how can we shift how you feel about things? So shift beliefs, which
Mm.
cuts your blockages to just having your energy flow. That's really what the basis of the one-to-one work I do is, let's get your energy flowing, because that's where the magic is. That's where fertility is, in the flow.
Yeah. So good. So good. And
Thank
just,
you.
I love it. I just feel like, I know that I feel like there is definitely way more awareness, like you say, than, 20 years ago, even, that there's a lot more to, fertility than we're aware of, and having that kind of support for a woman walking through that journey just must be invaluable. So
Thank you.
that's awesome. Thank you so much. And for anyone listening, I will put all of Bianca's contact details in the show notes, and we hope you have a great day.
Thanks, Nick.